Welcome to Dear Marketer. This episode is about the Challenger's Playbook on how to market when you don't have the loudest voice, the deepest pockets, or the default shelf space. Just sharp strategy, relentless clarity, and a bias to fight smart. And to help us unpack that, we have Varun Oberoi, Head of Marketing Nissin Foods, someone who's built his entire marketing career around challenger brands across categories that are anything but easy. Varun, thank you for joining me in this Dear Marketer episode. So happy to have you here.
Pleasure being here. Thank you for inviting me.
How does it feel to be visiting this part of Chennai? You told me you already started your career journey here in Chennai.
Yes, I did in a company called Care, which incidentally has been a big challenger in its FMCG category. So I was lucky and fortunate to start my career from there.
Yeah.
Of course, since then, the city has expanded and a lot more has changed for the better, obviously.
Okay, so we are talking about challenger brand in this episode. How do you handle marketing for challenger brands versus the legacy dominant narrative that has already been penetrating in the market for so long? So that will be the major theme of this episode. And the first question that I want to ask you is, your career you've always been on a ring with giants is what I feel, always competing against the legacy brands that are out there in the market, trying to make your own brand shine through, get its space, etc. So what is the first step or initial thing that you normally look for and then build on when you are taking over establishing a challenger brand?
It wasn't by design that I ended up in companies which prided themselves on being challengers. What I've learned is when entering into a category which is dominated by a big player, the first thing you need to decide is what kind of a brand you want to be. Now, there could be two different approaches to that. The first approach could be follow the leader. So you're basically copying the leader. Very simple but effective approach. It is very simple for everyone in the company to understand and execute.
Right.
It doesn't take up much resources, definitely not much mental bandwidth, but it's definitely profitable in the immediate term. Now, of course, it does attract a lot more competition, and there is danger of your brand being looked at as a Me Too brand or a discounted brand, and it is not so profitable in the long term. So you could go for the second approach, which is build your own position, build your own fort. That's harder, but more rewarding in the long term. There are 2-3 options for that. For example, option 1 could be, instead of giving the same which the market leader is giving at a lower price, give more at the same price. Very effective, very popular strategy, because the margins are predictable, the spends are predictable, forecasting is far more accurate, so it works. Or you could study the market leaders and figure out the chinks in their armor. There are always weaknesses, be it product, positioning, promotion strategy. Typically, the lowest hanging fruit is the distribution. Or you could go for the third option, which is the hardest. Predict a future trend and then latch on to it. That's very hard. So rarely companies go for it. Even the market leaders don't do it, especially the market leaders. Because they are more interested in maintaining the status quo. But if a new brand is able to crack that, then it has a great chance of becoming the market leader in future.
I am reminded of Paperboat. Paperboat is a classic example of how it entered the beverage industry. It had a very unique storytelling, and like you said, the distribution was also very different. They targeted aircraft.
Incidentally, Cup Noodles brand, which is our brand, also started like that. So Paperboat and Cup Noodles were both available in aircraft. It was an excellent strategy because new consumers came into the category through that.
Correct.
It's not just discovery of the brand, but the discovery of the category itself.
So how difficult or easy is it to build a challenger brand in the FMCG category now versus 10 years ago?
Well, it is much, much easier now. Simply because consumers themselves have evolved so much. They are willing to experiment. They are willing to pay more for quality. This wasn't the case 20 years ago. And it is not just a question of how society in general has evolved. To give you an example, earlier products were launched catering to family consumption. Now every member of the family has their own brand or product. So entry into the household has become that much easier. And that's half the battle won.
Right.
To top it, there is a whole ecosystem in place now to help a young brand launch and, more importantly, challenge the market leader or the legacy brands from day one.
Correct. Yeah.
Because there's so much capital available, R&D available, supply chains in place. There is marketing and creative agencies to help them out. Retailers are more than willing to stock young brands.
Yeah.
This wasn't the case 10, 15, 20 years ago.
With a lot of clutter out there in the market today, there are just so many brands versus how it would have been 10 years back, right? Today, leave alone the entrepreneurs who are getting funding and then getting into the business of building a challenger brand. Housewives at home have started selling from the proposition of handmade, ghar ka khana, this, that, and all. Getting into the FMCG category, you could literally find 10 different varieties, 10 different, the brands for one ragi malt kind of a product itself today. So with so much noise and clutter, so many brands evolving, how do you differentiate which one has the potential or ability to be that challenger brand?
That's the right question to ask. Obviously, it's a good thing that so many new brands and small entrepreneurs are getting an opportunity to launch and getting the platform, which in itself is good. However, most brands are not genuine challengers. There's a lot more smoke and noise.
Right.
So when I'm looking at a brand in my category as competition, whether it will be a genuine challenger in future, I'm basically evaluating whether the demand for it is organic or acquired. And there are 3-4 explicit signs to see that. Okay? So when I say demand is organic and not acquired, obviously I mean it does not rely too much on performance marketing or discounting to get its sales. Trade loves the product because it's flying off the shelf organically.
Right.
Which also means that the market share of the brand is far higher than the share of voice.
Right.
Right? So it's more substance than noise. The most important thing that I see to decide whether it is going to be a genuine threat in the future is that the brand is being built on a core insight. Most brands sell ideas. They are not being built on insights. At the early stages of my career, I did see a lot of brands being built on insights, but that is becoming more and more rare now.
Okay, can you elaborate more on how idea versus insight you wanted to mention?
So it is very easy to think of ideas. It's not very difficult.
Right.
Ideas are everywhere.
Right.
You sit in a meeting and you'll get 3 new ideas for a product or promotion.
Okay.
They're almost a commodity now. What is difficult is getting hold of insights. Because insights are the ones that go deep inside the consumer and make them fall in love with your product. Now that's, of course, is hard, making someone fall in love with you. Right? Ideas are like you pay 10 people, you get 10 ideas.
Today, ChatGPT gives you 100 ideas in a second.
Yeah, so it's a quick one. Right?
Yeah.
But insights, that's why that much more. Love is more rare to find, right?
Yeah.
So which insights are like love, right? But I know that when my brand has latched on to an insight, then it's a good marriage between my brand and the consumer. And the consumer will not leave me easily.
Okay, makes sense. Is there a point where a challenger brand, if repositioning has been applied to it, that there is a massive shift in how it's being perceived in the market? Like, I'll give you an example. We had Fair and Lovely before. Now it's changed its name to Glow and Lovely because beauty standards are like, it is not complexion, it is not how your face is, the golden rule of how the geometry is, but it's just accepting who you are. That's what Dove also did. Real Beauty, launched a campaign like that. So these brands have repositioned somewhere in order to fit the narrative that is trending right now, what's being accepted, and also to kind of acquire a little bit of more market share. Can we try repositioning like this? So what is your take on how challenger brands taking a repositioning strategy will work or will not work?
Repositioning happens more often than we think. In fact, the context changes. Consumers evolve. People change every 5 years. So as consumers also, they evolve. Trade evolves. The purchasing patterns change. Some competition comes in. your brand suddenly starts looking jaded. So as marketers, we are constantly looking out for such signs and are aware that all these phenomena are happening together at the same time, but at a varying pace. So the examples that you gave were perfect. So, and it is not just about challenger brands repositioning themselves. It is about market leaders also being challenged by the changing context.
Yeah, true.
Right? That happens a lot, and that's always an anxiety. So in certain categories, like we are also market leaders. So the topper is always anxious of falling to number two. Right? The number two brand is always under stress to become number one because it's so close. Right? Number three brand always is the happiest. Right? It's that kind of effect here also. So we as leaders, I'll give you an example of our own brand, Geki, which is in the Korean ramen category. Now, when this category started in India in 2017-18, there were two hooks, that it is Korean and that it is very spicy. So during the pandemic, there was the whole spice challenge and everything that came up. In this situation, we launched Geki in 2021 as Geki Hot and Spicy. And it instantly became number one in that category in the first year itself. Now, a year and a half ago, a lot of big players started coming into the category. Players with deep pockets, all talking about how it is Korean and spicy and all of that. However, we started seeing signs that spiciness or the hotness is no longer that big a hook. Of course, early adopters into the category did come because of the high spice levels. But the new consumers, they were not so enthusiastic about the whole 2x, 3x spicy thing. So in spite of all of those signs that the competitors were giving, we chose to drop the hot and spicy positioning and reposition Geki as intense taste rather than just merely spicy and managed to retain our number one market share. Now, our objective is to recruit more consumers into the category. So this month, we are again going into a repositioning exercise, keeping the core insight same of intensity, but giving it more legs so that we can build a whole range.
Okay. I am a die-hard consumer of Nissin Cup Noodles. I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And versus a Maggi, I mean, Maggi is always there in the market. But personally, I mean, you go to my Blinkit order, it will always be Nissin's Cup Noodles. If it's out of stock, I'll wait for it to be restocked and then I'll, buy that.
Thank you.
So
Loyalty is rare and fickle nowadays.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about marketing strategy that you have worked along with for Cup Noodles as well.
So Cup, the category, we actually launched it 30 years back, but really the category started evolving 10 years ago.
Yeah.
When the whole started giving it in institutions like Indigo Airlines or in cinemas and all, mainly harping on the convenience aspect, on the go aspect of it, out of home consumption. So that gave it initial legs.
Okay.
However, out of home consumption is a very small part of the overall category.
Right.
It's more visible, obviously, but it's very small, hardly 5%, 8% of the category.
Okay.
Right? So, few years ago, we started positioning it as a meal. Okay? And we've launched a lot of flavors accordingly, right? So, there's paneer butter masala and there's Rogan Josh.
There's Italian flavors as well.
And there's an Italian flavor. So, all of that we've launched to give a good meal experience, right? Which especially helped us during the pandemic, where there was a boom in home consumption and people were looking to experiment.
Right.
Now that phase has passed. We are in the post-pandemic phase where that artificial demand has gone down. Right? Now we are going into the next phase. What is it? I cannot reveal, but we are revealing it in a couple of quarters.
Okay.
So the category itself, and the interesting thing about Cup Noodles is that the brand name is generic to the category.
Yeah.
So what we do for Cup Noodles as a brand has an impact on the overall category, and also being the number one player there.
True.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to work on not just our brand imagery, but also the category imagery as a whole, which again brings to how do we recruit more consumers into that category. Right? And I believe once that clarity comes into a brand, what do you want to do? And this is going back to the first question that we discussed. What do we want to do as a brand? Right? Product is one thing, your advertising is one thing, what you do in performance is another thing. but what are you there for? What is your mission as a brand, right? And I'm not taking it to more, a higher or esoteric level that, it should be there for a social cause. No, what are you doing? What are you providing? What problem are you solving, or what need are you creating for the consumer? For us, the moment we decided we want to expand the category, everything else is noise. It's very easy to sift through it, the Red Sea parts, and you can just walk through it to the promised land.
Okay, got it. Amazing to hear that. Now we have spoken a lot about a lot of brands evolving out there, and challenger brands trying to make their own position into the voice, lot of clutter that is there in the market. As the brands are also increasing, the channels are also increasing. We will delve more into what are the different channels, distribution channels that are there for brands today. We'll start with general trade with kirana store, modern trade. Okay. Yes. So you tell me how the marketing philosophy is very different, because general trade is more about retailer recommendation, or it is more about the relationship that you build with them. On the contrary, modern trade is more about it is being visual. How many racks do you have? How do you position, branding, etc. So tell me more on marketing philosophy for a challenger brand in GT and also MT.
So for that, it is good to look at how similar they are and then see in what ways they are different. I think for both kirana and modern trade, the most important thing is that they are both built on relationships. Of course, modern trade has a lot more access to data, and they're a tad more scientific in their approach. But at the heart, they're still about people. It is more about how much faith the two parties have in each other and how much they engage with each other.
Right.
So people are still at the core.
Okay.
More than we want to admit.
Okay.
The big difference comes in how each channel caters to their clientele and the shopping experience there. And that dictates the marketing strategy thereon. Kiranas, by their very nature, rely on the fact that all the households in the neighborhood are aware of their existence. They come to the store with a list, and the shopping experience is about how quickly the shopkeeper can retrieve the stock from inside the shelves and hand it over to the customer.
Right, yeah.
A very quick commerce in that sense. 10-minute shopping. Modern trade, on the other hand, because of its sheer size and expenses, caters to a larger catchment area. So it is all about getting more footfalls, getting those consumers to spend more time in the store, explore a lot more, and then increase the cart value. So they will do all sorts of activities in the stores so that people explore more. They'll provide a trolley so that you can put in more stock, and thereby the average order value increases. Visibility is a given there, like you mentioned. But the experience is more important. So in general trade, we ensure that our brand gets the visibility that it deserves. Obviously, because there is no shelf blocking and eye-level visibility is not there. In modern trade, on the other hand, we focus on providing an experience, getting more consumers to walk into the category bay. Right? Any brand who is able to provide that experience in modern trade automatically gets the shelf space.
Okay. When you talk about experience, can you elaborate more on that?
Also, like us, we do the Korean category branding in certain stores. Our competition also does that for the bigger category, masala category. You have other brands doing that, for example, Horlicks in the MFT category. So it is all about how attractive you make the category. Otherwise, even in modern trade nowadays, people just walk in, they know what to buy, they pick it up and leave. These are not the days of, a casual family shopping. They still spend almost an hour and a half inside the store, but it is not that it is a full evening experience, which it used to be. That's the nature of any channel, that it evolves in that way.
It is on the rush?
I haven't seen them rushing through it.
Okay.
But I think what's playing at the back of their mind is, if we have to experiment, let's do it in the comfort of our home on the mobile.
Okay.
But that is still the digital experience. That might be happening right now, but from a brand's point of view, that is not ideal. because brands then lose the physical touch points. Modern trade provides a whole sensorial experience, which is what we try to do. Make the whole place neater, more attractive. They would want to pass through it at least, if not stay there. If they pass through it, maybe they'll explore more. So we want people to touch, feel, smell the whole area. That's when the memories get stronger in the brain. Which is again a problem that a lot of these digital brands will face sooner or later, especially when they try to move into offline.
Okay. I see quick commerce blooming more now.
Yeah.
Right. We are starting from GT, MT, then we are talking about ecomm. Now it is quick com that is taking over the distribution channel. So I think COVID time, probably people are thinking that, okay, Zepto is there and then it would probably not survive because it was already in huge losses before, while during COVID and all of that. And now, if you see in 2024, it's doubled its revenue. Almost 4,000 crores was its revenue. So which means a lot of brands are relying on quick commerce. So which is and also consumers want that, I can't wait for one day. Give it to me in 10 minutes. So that is something that consumer is also expecting and is welcoming as well. So tell me, how is FMCG for a challenger brand viewed in quick commerce?
Quick commerce is definitely the biggest thing to have happened in FMCG distribution in the last 20 years. So naturally, I have very strong views on quick commerce and how it will evolve. To me, it seems like the 10-minute delivery is more of a marketing hook.
Okay.
It is and cannot be the business model.
Okay.
Simply because it's not profitable and it's not feasible in the long run. It works on a smaller scale. But as quick commerce or e-commerce expands, the 10 will become 20, will become 30, and consumers will be okay with it. Consumers adapt. Nobody will complain if you give it in 10.
True.
But they wouldn't mind getting it in 25 or 30. I think the reason quick commerce got into grocery first is simply because it is a very high frequency, low involvement purchase. And consumers can be swayed very easily by discounts. It is also very easy to build a category in FMCG on a retail platform. Contrary to popular belief, FMCG categories in India, most of them are very consolidated. The top 3 brands command 70% plus market share. So it is very easy to get a range of brands for a category and get it up and running. However, if Q-commerce wants to become profitable in the future, it will have to move away from grocery, expand horizontally into categories that give a higher average order value or higher margins or both. Then the focus on grocery will automatically reduce.
Today we see iPhones getting delivered in quick commerce.
Yes. And that is getting into what traditional e-commerce marketplaces were doing. So the initial impact was definitely felt by kiranas and modern trade. But if you see quick commerce, now the objective is to become more profitable. So they will not expand beyond the top 50 or 100 towns. There's always the kirana that is there. Quick commerce caters to what? The top 8% of our population. Modern trade probably 25-30% of the population, the top end. Kirana caters to 90%. Right? So Kirana is definitely not going away. The initial brunt was borne by modern trade and the Kirana, specifically the self-service stores. But in future, it will come on to the Amazons and Flipkarts of the world and pressurize them to deliver everything in one day or the same day delivery. I think that's where it will evolve. Now the implications for grocery and for challenger brands, grocery, because of its low margins, the Q-commerce or e-commerce platforms will earn more from advertising than margins, which was in any case the case. FMCG has always been the biggest advertiser in terms of sectors. And as it becomes more difficult to recruit consumers from top of the funnel, brands will naturally spend more and more on bottom of the funnel.
Got it. What are the key metrics that you look for which feels like, okay, you've made it or it is working for us in a quick commerce and in e-commerce?
Okay, the implications for us are at 2 levels. One is performance marketing, one is brand building. And these two are east and west. Twain shall not meet, in spite of all the discussions around how they can feed each other. We also do a lot of performance marketing, and on Q-commerce platform, there are banners and keywords and keyword bidding. And sponsored listings, all of that happens. Right? Any challenger brand should do that. We also do it. They should also do that. That's the first step for a challenger brand.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's very difficult to get visibility.
Right.
However, it's very difficult to predict when it gets too much. So eventually it will be about the consumer experience. When they are opening the app, getting into the category, they shouldn't be seeing 6 sponsored listings.
Yeah.
Because eventually consumer demand will show that put my brand on top. You know, and it cannot totally rely on advertising. So somewhere it will plateau. But we should be very clear that all of this is not brand building. From a brand person point of view, the most important metric that I see is organic search and the sales that come from organic search.
Okay.
Because that is organic demand.
Right.
Once I have agreed on that, I can continue doing all of this as long as this metric is going up.
Okay.
Then I do not invest in anything which is purely discounting or deal driven.
Okay.
Getting a consumer to buy your product by discounting or incentivizing or subsidizing the sales is not brand building. Just because a consumer has bought your product doesn't mean he's become a consumer in the long run. Only when the consumer has gone through the whole funnel, top to bottom, and has purchased your product at MRP, only then can you be assured that you've actually acquired a consumer.
Oh wow, this is a very different take, because normally I will tell a lot of business owners that they'll start their initial set of sales with their friends and family circle, obviously, and they will be so happy that, oh yeah, these are small brands, so oh, our sales have gone this much. Then I'll be like, don't account that sale, because that is not your sale. People are buying it maybe for you, maybe for what you built, but not truly for what the product is for. So don't count it at all. So once you go to a market and some 10 to hundreds of people who just don't know you buy your product, that's when it's a win, is what I normally tell the small business owners there. And you are telling me, despite the discount, they should still have that brand loyalty that no, I want to buy this even if there's not a discount. That is next level. You're taking it to the next level, I think.
I think eventually we are talking the same thing. What you also are telling the brands is, do not be happy with the initial sales that you get, right? Because it could be misleading.
Yeah, true.
Right? It could be performance driven, it could be relationship driven, and which is absolutely true. So the idea is not to be happy with your sales in the first 3-4 years. In fact, the successful challenger brands I've seen in my category also right, are the ones who focused on a particular city, got onto a quick commerce, got a certain set of consumers, that data, that understanding, then expanded into the kirana and self-service stores.
Fresh perspectives, I think I'm getting from you in this episode. So with that, we have come to the end of the main segment. And the second segment will be the rapid fire segment, for which I have a few quirky questions for you, and I'm expecting a few quirky answers as well. Ready? Okay.
All the best.
Okay, no, I trust you. You're going to give me good answers. Okay, starting from the first question. Most underrated FMCG brand in India today outside of yours?
I think it's Godrej #1.
Oh.
Soap. Right?
Okay.
It's been a strong player forever.
Okay.
Right? It started out off, I think, as #2 and then became Godrej #1. Right? So it's the best. It's the biggest player by volume in that soap category. Nobody pays attention to it, but it has its core loyalists.
Okay.
I'm a consumer.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
So it's a good product with a very effective delivery.
Right.
And it does the job.
Next question. A marketing buzzword you secretly hate?
I just said insights. Right? And very abused terms. I think the second most abused term is storytelling. A lot of brands, of course, they focus on storytelling. A lot of people talk about storytelling, but they don't really appreciate what a brand story means. Right? They don't appreciate that the story only exists in a certain context. Right? A lot of times what people are calling storytelling is basically narrative. Right? There are a lot of narratives that we see, which are an outcome of that story, which is an outcome of the core insight, which is an outcome of the context in which the brand exists. So while focusing on narratives, especially in the digital world, when you are encouraged to make multiple creatives and all, creatives are narratives.
Right,
Creatives
yeah.
is not storytelling.
Yeah, true.
Your influencer campaign is not your brand storytelling. It is your brand piggybacking on the influencer's storytelling skills.
Yeah, true.
So the most important thing is the brand storytelling, which is missing in a lot more brands.
When do you feel more pressured? Is it while pitching to the board or presenting to the distributors?
While giving the interview. That's been a tough as well. No, jokes apart, I think presenting to the board, because with a distributor, what we are discussing is we are typically on the same plane. Right? Both want to get the sales here and now, right? And it's a very simple business. The FMCG distribution business is not very complicated. Okay. Supply chain is not complicated, right? It works on 2-3 metrics, and you work on that.
Okay.
There is really nothing new that has happened in FMCG sales and distribution in terms of their principles in the last 20 years. Right? Laws were written long ago. So it's very easy to get on the same plane. With the board, it is more about pitching something which will happen in future, and the outcome will happen even later. The tough part that the board needs to manage is the short term and the long term. Right? I, sitting in the marketing person's chairs, can very well declare that sales, that short term is sales job, is not my job, right? But the board, they need to take a decision managing and balancing both. Right? And management funds outcomes. They don't fund the inputs.
Yeah.
Right? Very often we make the mistake of proposing the inputs without thinking or presenting the outcomes to the board.
Quick commerce in one word. What would it be?
Disruptor.
Okay. Next question. This is the last question for the rapid fire. A channel that's always over-promised and under-delivered.
Modern trade.
Modern trade. Okay. That's it. We've come to the end of rapid fire.
Nice.
So,
it was fun.
Yeah. Next up, we have you ever? And for have you ever, I have 3 placards for you. The answer is yes, you have done it. If it's no, this is the one. And if you wouldn't want to answer, this is the inverted smiley. Okay. So I'm going to hand them over to you. Starting with the first question. Have you ever lost sleep over a competitor's campaign because it was that good? Yes, okay. If we don't lose sleep, then are we really doing the job? Is that the mindset?
Yeah. There's some brilliant campaigns, of course, that have happened. And not just in my current role, but previously also. Right? And you do feel that, you really admire that person's intelligence. You really admire that they were able to convince a lot of people and pull it off. A lot of stuff that, for example, Zomato does. It's very difficult to pull it off.
Yeah.
Of course, it requires a buy-in from the management at the top also, that freedom to do that. I was recently listening to an interview by Amir Khan on how that Thanda Matlab Coca-Cola thing came about, right? We typically give credit to one person, right, who did play their part, but it was almost 2 to 3 years in the making.
Yeah.
From the ideation stage to rejection to again coming up to finally fructifying, and now everybody thinks it was fantastic. Why didn't they do it earlier?
Yeah, true. Have you ever pitched a marketing idea to sales and they completely shut it down? No. Okay.
They are surprisingly very open to marketing ideas, and I'm not just saying that because I have spent a long time in sales in my career before moving to marketing, but they are always open to new, quirkier the better.
Okay.
It's the jaded, repetitive ideas that they are
apprehensive.
Very apprehensive about.
Okay.
Surprisingly, but nice. That's a pleasant surprise.
Okay, got it. Next question. Have you ever changed your mind about a campaign after it went live? Yes? Okay. Standard answer that I got from all of you guys.
I mean, this should be like all the campaigns.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes when the campaigns have got delayed, right, I've actually been happier because 6 months later situation changes, and then you realize, thankfully I didn't do it 6 months earlier, because then the regret would have been that much more.
Yeah.
So it works in only one way.
Okay, got it. Have you ever had to completely pivot a launch plan because of a retailer or distributor saying this won't work here? Yes. Okay.
Definitely.
Last question. Have you ever chosen not to use a celebrity or influencer even when everyone told you it was the safer move?
Oh, yes.
Yes? Okay.
Yeah, happens every month.
Okay.
Some flavor of the season would be trending on Instagram, somebody's series, somebody's comedy show, and people would be encouraging it. That, so many brands are coming onto it. Why aren't you making use of an influencer? The difficult part is to say no. Right? It is very tempting to say yes to that. Very easy to say yes because everybody becomes happy. But the hard part of marketing is to say no to a lot of good ideas.
Why do you say no to this particular thing?
Because it goes back to my core brand story.
Okay.
I will not go after what is trending.
Right.
Right? And definitely not when I'm piggybacking on something which is trending or which is much more popular than my brand.
Right.
Right? I don't believe that helps build the brand.
Right.
So and then if I'm clear with my brand story, then all of these are narratives and I can pick and choose the narrative.
Got it.
Rather than going ahead with whatever comes to me first or whatever is trending.
Okay. Makes sense. With that, we finished the entire episode. I'm sure you're very relieved, like, thank God ho gaya.
Not at all. I'm disappointed that it's over so quickly.
Oh, is it? Okay. So happy to have had you here in this episode because it was a no fluff marketing episode. It was just so much of insight. I think liquid gold is what I would say. That much of insight that I could get from you, and also the audience as well would
Very
be able to
kind words.
enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a part of the show.
Pleasure sharing all my thoughts there. You were great moderating the whole interview. Help me just free flow and ramble with my thoughts.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me do that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Varun. Thank you.
Pleasure.